got a great video on deck that I am very happy to bring to you guys at home. Today we're going to talk a little bit about dollar cans and what types of caps that you can use on them to get the best kind of effects. Now, when I was young, a young lad, let me tell you a story. So back in the early 90s, Walmart had a paint. Well, they still do, but it's kind of a shadow of what it used to be. Walmart had this paint called Color Place, which came in about 10 or 12 different shades, and they were pretty good. And they weren't even $1. I think they were like 79 cents a can. If you wanted to get the pastel colors, I think they were $1. But even still, for a baller on a budget back then, I mean, you gotta figure, I was working at Taco Bell at the time. I was probably making about $8 an hour. You know what I mean? So this is a good deal for a young artist like me. It worked out pretty well. But graffiti artists took to it very well because it covered really good, and it was about $1 cheaper than the Krylons at the time. And back then, Krylon had some really good colors. They worked very well with the New York Fats and stuff. And that's what we're gonna test on these today, because I've been playing a little bit with these modern Color Place cans, and I was actually surprised with how well they flare, because for quite some time they didn't flare very well. It's almost like they boosted up the pressure. But the other thing too is, it's pretty watery, and I know that for a fact because, well, it's watery, but I know that they've been continually watering down the formula since the 90s. How do I know? Because I talked to the guy who invented this stuff. So I was talking to this guy, and he basically said every year they made a new formula of Color Place, they added a little bit more solvent each continual year. And now we are left with what we have today, which is basically transparent black and transparent white with a little bit of solvent inside of them. Not all is lost, because the transparent black, which is over there somewhere, Color Place black today is pretty well pressurized. So if you want to practice your tags, it's a great paint to use for that, because you get that kind of feel and flow and control as you would with a much more expensive paint can. So kudos to them on that. They may have inadvertently created a great tag practicing can. Props to you, Walmart. So anyways, we have a couple cans here we're gonna try out, and I'm also gonna compare it to an old can. Probably wrap up the label just to protect it, and you'll see how the old cans sprayed versus the new ones, and then maybe we'll paint something very simple, do some hit-offs, and we'll have a great video. So anyways, guys, let's hang out. All right, so picture this. So you and your homies want to get together and paint this spot, and you've pooled all your paint together to do this production. And of course, you got a few Color Place cans intermixed with your kit, and you want to know what type of caps to use. Good question. I highly recommend old school caps like the New York Outline, New York Fat Cap, Rusto Fat Cap. They work great on these cans, and you get a feel of what it used to be like to paint with the old school cans. These cans feature a much wider stem that is available on the European cans. So while you can use some dot caps, there are some that may get you a wet hand. We can test for that later. But in the meantime, we're just gonna play mostly with the old school caps because A, they're really cheap, B, they mount perfectly on these cans, and C, it gives you a good opportunity to learn how to control in the old school fashion, which I think is great because it builds a foundation for you, much like how a skateboarder learns how to ollie before he learns how to do a kickflip. You feel me? Because if you can paint with this, you can paint with anything. So why don't we get started with the New York Outline cap, because that is a great tip to use on these. Let's see what it's like. All right, guys, up first is the quick color with the New York Fat Cap. I'm sorry, New York Outline cap. As you can see, it's a little bit cleaner. You still get that little cut though, and that's just the nature of the valve on these cans. If you just lightly press the can, you'll get that kind of line right there. So that's kind of normal for those. But you're getting a fairly clean line with this. Not the best, I will say that, it's not the best. All right guys, let's go ahead and try the New York Outline on the Color Place. As you can see, it's much more controllable. It gives you a much better line, and you actually get a little bit of flare. So that's kind of cool. You could also get a little bit of flare, or I'm sorry, fade action with it. But as you can see, the paint is quite runny, but you can get by. You can definitely get by. All right, let's check out the Rusto. All right, guys, up first is the Rusto Fat on the quick color. Rusto Fat on the quick color. Now, as you can see, it's not a wide spray on the quick color, but it puts out a lot of paint. So if you were doing throw-ups and you need to fill in something really quickly, it will definitely do the job. Volume, not width, volume of paint coming out. quite good. All right, guys, up next is the Rusto fat on the color place. Let's see how it looks. Oh, much better. Oh, not bad at all, actually. It works. Now, if the wall is really grilled, or if it's a very soaky wall, you will have some issues with it, but choose your spots wisely. You should do fine. This is the quick color, and this is the color place. As you can see, the quick color automatically looks like a weathered tag as soon as you lay it down. Now, that has an aesthetic appeal for certain niche artists who are looking for that. That can be very good. But for the majority of things that you do, it can be very troubling and very annoying to deal with. Just add a little bit more pigment in there, homie. Charge $1.25. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's not that hard. The color place is also very, very watery as well. But the black is doing quite well. I will tell you this, the color place white is garbage. It's terrible. But the black, I could live with it. I just want to do a quick comparison with the old color place versus the new. Now, this isn't the same color, it's a green, but it should be very revealing of what has become of the current state of color place, because the green should be much more watery and much more transparent than the black. Let's see how they look. Rusto fat, by the way, Rusto fat. It really isn't that bad for a green. It's doing quite well. Now, it is a really old can, so there might be some degradation to the formula, but all in all, I gotta say it does pretty well. And if you had a black one from back then, you would be amazed how well they paint. All right, guys, let's go ahead and give it a shot with the New York Fat cap. My favorite cap for this. Let's check it out. As you can see, with the quick color, you're not getting the nice fat flare that you could get, but it's probably the best line you're gonna get with a quick color can. That's as good as it gets, friends. All right, guys, let's go ahead and try out the color place. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. It actually flares. This is exactly what you need in a dollar can. Look at that. This is a New York Fat Cap. Look at that. Amazing. All right, let's hit up some homies. Oh man, that is perfect. All right, guys, here comes the fun part. We're gonna try out the color place as an outline color with the New York outline to see how well it works, because I think this will be a great cheap outliner for those of you on a budget. Just make sure the wall is nice and buff beforehand. That will help out quite a bit. So I got some Krylon, I got some color place, I got some flame blue, some purple stuff, some OJ. We're gonna try a few different combos in here, maybe grab something off the cart over there, because like a lot of young artists, you probably just use what you get. You just use what you use. And this is a great example of that. So let's get started. right, guys, as you can see, you can get some very decent results with the Color Place Black. I don't know if you guys noticed in the video though, but the white was very troublesome. I had to go over it like 3 times to get my shines right. Although if you're learning how to do your shines, this might be a good opportunity for you guys, because you'll have to go over the same spot more than once to get a nice opaque line. And even then, it's not that opaque. So it's a good way to practice your shines, because you'll be forced to do them again. That said, I'm very happy with how it did on the outline. It looks like it's kind of oxidizing a little bit, but that might just be because it's so cold. It's probably about 40 degrees, which isn't cold to Finland, but it's cold for cheap paint. It's cold for cheap paint. But still, I mean, if this rolled by, if this was a freight train that rolled by, I would be like, oh, there's a freight panel. It's a serviceable freight panel. And that's all you can ask for 99 cents, right? I can't complain. I really can't complain. I really like the New York outline on it. It's very clean. And when it's a little bit warmer out, you can get a little bit of a cleaner line with it. Like I said, cold temperatures, a little bit more on the runny side, but it's great. It's great. So anyways, why don't we go to the closeout? We'll do some final thoughts and move on to the next video. See you later. All right, guys, I gotta say I'm very impressed with how the Color Place paints. I mean, it is watery, but because of the pressure differential, you're getting a very nice spray out of it. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm into Color Place again. Now, if they only added just a little bit more pigment, guys, come on, work with us here, Walmart. Come on, Walmart. You hear me? Wally World. Just add a little bit of pigment. Just a little bit. Give us a little, huh? We've been reliable customers for years. I'd say 30% more pigment. Charge $1.25, and you would have a huge following for these cans. I think people would love them. What's it called? Quick Color? Such a disappointment. Come on, Home Depot, get it together, guys. The Quick Color is terrible. It's still terrible. It's always been terrible. I know you can do it. I know you can do it, but don't leave us hanging like that. Anyways, I got to get going, guys. Oh, before I go, I want to give a shout out to the AM/PM shop. They sent me this lovely shirt of a guy. It looks like he's making sushi or something like that. He's going to work. He's a construction worker. You see, he's a construction worker in Asia. He's making sushi. You know, he's having a good time making a sushi. Thank you very much. AM/PM shop. Hit him up. They're pretty dope. Anyways, but before we get out of here, I just want to let you guys know I made a little kit for you guys. So it comes with 150 old school caps. These work on all your dollar cans. And they also work with the adapters too. You might have to make some adjustments for the New York outline and the Rusto fat, but I'm not 100% sure on that. You know what? I have the caps right in front of me. Why don't I just shove them in there? Yeah, GR, why don't you just shove them in there? It's a little tight. You might want to shave it if you want to use it with the adapter, but you can mount them directly on your old school cans. And there are some domestic cans. Come on, buddy. There we go. There are some domestic cans that you can find in industrial supply stores and places. Hey, industrial paint. Exactly. Where is it? Ah, yes. How could I be so silly? If you are lucky and you can find Krylon with the old valve, it's under this is pre-industrial, but the new ones will say industrial paint on it. They will have the old valve on them, and I have seen those out there. So check your local industrial supply or your local farm supply. They probably have these with the old valve still. Just kind of look around. But these mount directly with the Rusto fats. Oh, it's beautiful. It really is. And the New York outlines as well. They'll mount right directly on those. And it is quite nice. Rumor has it some Rusto cans do have a female valve, metallic colors. So take a look and see what they are. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you do. And see what you think. There are a lot of cans out there that still take the old school caps. And friends, only you can save the Rusto cap. Only you can save the Rusto. Also, oh, one more thing. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to say, oh, GR, you can just turn the can upside down and let out a bunch of the pressure and it thickens the paint. I'm not convinced of that. All you're doing is letting out the gas. So maybe it does thicken it a little bit, but I think what it is, it's making it so low pressure that it appears to be thicker. You still got a lot of solvent in there, right? There's still solvents in there. Maybe it's a little bit thicker, but I think what it really is doing is lowering the pressure. For outlines, definitely do that. But if you're trying to do tags, you don't want to lower the pressure on these. You want it to flow. You know what I'm saying? You really want it to flow. So anyways, I got to go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your guys' support. Rumor has it, we got some killer deals coming for Chrome Week. So keep posted for that. And something that makes me pretty hyped. So keep tuned. I'll be making a video for each of the Chrome Week things because this is my time of year, homies. You guys know I work all year round for this, the holiday season. We got to get back in the black, baby. That's right. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. This is GR signing out. Artprimo.com, 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 artprimo.com. Your number one source for all things graffiti related, art supplies, wicker furniture, painting your hot rod, skateboard decks, snowboards. You want to paint your snowboard, homie? Hit me up. I got what you need. Surfboards. We can do your surfboards too. It doesn't even matter. I got you. Okay, I got you right here. Just call me. 206-365. Hello, Art Primo. Yo, what's up, man? You want some paint? All right, homie, there you go. Woo! Sale, done. I gotta go. Bye.